So I thought I am very, very close. Hi, Susan. Very, very close to finishing this journal, and it would be really nice to do a sort of look round video showing all the pages. And I've literally got this page and these two to do of this one. I've got, because I've sort of worked on two books at the same time. So I thought I would work over the next couple of weeks just to get these two books finally completed. Yeah, I've seen the text. I worked it out. My brain's a bit frazzled. I've been interneting it with my website, but it's all sorted now. We're all happy bunnies now. So what I did really urgently, literally 10 minutes ago, was stuck snowman paper down that was printed off. I think this is from George's guitar days, possibly. And then this picture here, this is actually from Jane Davenport, and it comes with, she does various stamps and stencils. I've never actually used this stamp yet, but there's various stencils that she's done that I have used. Yeah, I think it was this one, which is to make up a face. So there's the hair, and there's the face with various eyes and mouth and eyebrows and so on. So they're quite fun to just play around with if you've got no starting point. And so I was literally raiding through my drawers 5 seconds ago to see what I could do, and I found this. This came free with a stencil. There's two of them, and you're supposed to, I think you're supposed to just colour them in and have a go at that style. But I didn't, I could have stuck it down, but it's quite shiny. So I just thought, I'll use that as a rough, just a really rough picture to copy over. But I'm not, just kind of wanted the shape and the proportion really. And again, I quite like her long neck, so I thought I would go with that. So if you want the image, it comes with, I'm pretty sure it comes with that stencil, which is Jane Davenport. If you look up Jane Davenport on Amazon, you won't be able to stay away for hours. I've bought almost all of her stuff over the months. In quite a short space of time, if I'm honest, because it was one of those I've got to have it all jobbies. So I don't know how this is going to pan out the other side. So I just literally use that as my reference to get it going. Although, as you can see, that's got no real shading going on. It's more outliney kind of picture, and there's a bit of shading in the hair. So we're just going to make that up. I've gone in with my water-soluble pencil to be my first stage, and I'm just going to activate that with water and a brush. Let's see how that goes. So do you remember these water-soluble pencils from last week? And we're not going to do it all grayscale. We're going to add some colour this week. But I find this a really nice starting point. Well, I hope you guys are well. Hubby's been out this morning and take dog. Well, it's got to the point where, because we've only been going on forest walks one at a time and sort of ball on the field, that the dog's got a bit stinky, honestly. Never really noticed it before, and that's because very often we used to take him to the beach or to the river, so he'd obviously wash himself off. Now he's not, I can't imagine he's going to tolerate being showered or bathed. So hubby took him to the river today to try and sort that problem out. And opposite was a flower shop, and he was just in shock that it was just heaving, absolutely heaving with people that were just rooting through plants, touching them all, then deciding, they wanted the 8th one they touched, and was just in shock at the total disregard for the situation that we are in, and how most of us are, trying really hard to stay safe. And I will say to you guys, like, hubby had to go for a pre-op appointment at a hospital yesterday as well, and I was quite worried about that. Thinking, crikey, hospital's like the last place anyone wants to be right now, isn't it? But they were really, really good. He said he literally saw about 3 people in total because it was like ghost town, and his area to go in was completely segregated. And as I say, everyone was masked. He saw 3 people. He was in and out and didn't feel, he felt really safe in doing that. So I've heard a few stories of people not going to A&E, etc., because they're scared. But I think the answer is go. Don't die instead of going to A&E. I'm just going to dry this off quickly. Right, I'm going to use some of these cool little. I've got this little set of paints. It's really cute. And it was from it's primer. I got it on Amazon, but it's a primer set. And it's got a little sample paper that I've tried all the colours out on. This is specifically for face, which is quite cool. I think it's called, complexion. Oh yeah, so I've been quite precious about the tray at the moment because it's new. That won't last long, don't worry. But I've been using these paper plates up that I've got no clearing up involved, obviously. So let's create some space. It's a bit difficult. This book's sort of so bulky now that it's standing up on end. I've had to prop books under it, under the other side, to try and get it level for you. So I have had quite an exciting week in terms of my my website and my club. I have brought out a brand new art class. So this is one of the watercolours, one of the yellows. We're just going to have put it on a bit. Let's see. And I've brought out a new mixed media class on. Well, it's faces, but it's also using IOD. And there are 4 different faces with references from start to finish. You get a drawing, so a transfer. You get reference images to work with, and then a painting video afterwards. So you go right through all the steps from scratch, and it's over 5 hours of tuition actually. Plus you get some help sheets for shading and highlights and so on as well with it. And it is literally £30, guys. £30 for 5 hours tuition. And you get access to a private art group to have a go and put your stuff in and share your work and ask questions and have a go. I'm really excited about it. If you haven't seen it, hop over to my website and go look at classes, and you'll see it there. You do have to create an account on my website, which basically just means a login, so that if and when you buy it or any other courses that are on there, you then get a login to be able to see it. So that's good. This is just the same colour, going sort of a bit like what we did last week, going over the shaded area. So that's just one colour. I think that's quite effective. Just one colour like that. Look at that, what difference. So what I'm going to do, I'm shifting this paint pot over. Let's put a little bit of this colour in the other side. Hopefully you can see that. Just use a bigger brush to spread it more. I have no idea how this is going to turn out today. I really didn't have a plan, which is unusual for me, but I've been very bogged down with some glitches that I've had on the website, but they are all sorted now. Just bringing the page, tying the two pages together a bit. There. Right, I'm going to go in with the second colour now, which is like a darker brown. Just to, like, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to dry it because it will go wrong. Okay. Now, Susan Hull has already enrolled on my new course. I don't know if you've got started on it yet, Susan. I've sorted out all my glitches now. She enrolled and I had a few glitches. It's all sorted. So I'm just adding a little bit of brown. Oh, that's a bit too much brown. So tissue on standby. And I've just done the same again. For those of you that are new watching, I come on every... Hi Vicky. I come on every Thursday at this time and do some kind of art, creative stuff. And I do talk a little bit about the club that I have going, because I have a membership only club, which is, it is monthly subscription. The monthly levels start at only £6 a month, which is pretty good value, and for that you get 10% off all art products, art and paint products, but you get membership to our private Facebook group where we do lives and we talk about, so we do lots of practical stuff like this, creative stuff, painting furniture and all sorts, but we also do some business stuff, help to give each other ideas and support. It's very cool club. We've got some fantastic people in it, and if you're interested in that right now, it is proving really helpful to all of us. We're all chatting and talking and making sure we're all safe. It's a really tight-knit community that we've got going on in there, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with all the people that we've got in there, and their contributions to the group have been outstanding. So if you want to be part of a community right now and you're being socially isolated, for £6 a month you can join our community and you will be more than looked after. Again, you can get access to that on my website, which is chicemporium.co.uk. I've had a recent change. I've changed domain names. And you can see I haven't got an awful lot of structure going on here in what I'm doing. I'm sort of playing, which was my go-to plan when we were still doing tech at 1:45, was right, I'll get a blank bit of paper out, get all my paints, all my stuff out, and we'll just go for it. Just I like the hair that goes up. I liked let's go back to the original picture, because I've changed it a bit because I've put the hair over here, but I like this. Forget it. It's quite easy when you do a picture to forget these side bits, but of course it is, and I quite like the fact that it looks like it's sort of really gone out of the box. I think that works really well for her, so I've kind of tried to maintain that. So obviously in the classes that I've done, I've talked through in a lot more detail, right from scratch, how to get that image down, how to find transfers. There's 2 or 3 different ways to transfer a face from a reference picture onto your page, so you are not left sort of hanging. I'm really hopeful that you will feel confident at the end to be able to draw a face, paint a face, and create something pretty stunning. So I'll just I'm going to just quickly dry that off. I sometimes look back on other pages that I've done because I don't want them all to be the same. I quite like the fact that this is looking quite vintagey. I could add a colour to it, but I'm not sure that I will, just because I haven't got anything like that on previous pages. I have on my other book, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to leave the colour at the moment as that. I might add a little vintage blue, I think, but before we get to that, I'm going to put some of the drawing back in. So I'm going to use my Stabilo. I think I use that phrase more than most. It's a black Stabilo, it's water soluble, it's very soft. You need to sharpen it regularly. And I think I use it more than any other tool regularly to pop out the features. And here you can see I'm trying not to go round every last minuscule of her eye. I don't want a sort of big circle affair, or her eyebrow. Don't particularly want a harsh line, just. But this is going to help bring drawing back in. And I've kind of just made these eyes up because the original picture, they're a bit of a sketchy affair. There we go. Oh, I should tell you guys that also I have a current offer on paints in this time, and it will last until this time is over, which is and the code to put in at the checkout is COVID-19, and you will get 19% off. It will then deduct it and work it out for you. You don't get 19% off postage, but you do get 19% off the products. And that's going to be, as I say, going on until the end of the COVID period. So just because I've had quite a lot of orders come in with people that are bored and want to sit and have a go, and just finding time to do those things that they've put off for a long time. I'm certainly the same because they can't work. So if you want to take advantage of that, it is only one per customer, one time. Just put in COVID-19 at the checkout to get your discount. So that actually doesn't look too bad as it is, does it, with the black? But look what happens when I add water to it. It suddenly, this is why I love the Stabilo so much. Look at that. It's really pretty. Try and be really careful around the eye. You don't want suddenly a massive black splodge. I haven't actually been in my journal books for a little while. I've been doing other things, and it was quite nice coming back to it today when I got them out, because I was going to just do a blank bit of paper, do something, and then I got my journal out. It got all re-interested in it. This is a completely different type of journal to Fiona's, for example, if some of you follow Miss Paint a lot, because hers are meant to be sort of diary journals where you can add and write things in, and important old memory books or so on. You know, they're just absolutely beautiful. I don't know how you write on them because they're just too beautiful. These are more sort of experiments in different styles of painting, or sort of just a projection of ideas that you might have, and an opportunity really to just have a little play without it being sort of, you know, a fine art piece of work. But my book has become quite a recollection of different times over the last year that I can now look back on, and it's quite nice. It's like a personal diary written in art form, I suppose. And a lot of people print words out on their pages as well. If you do like this kind of work, please join I've got a Fairy Chic art medium journal group that's completely free, Facebook, to join and put in some of your pictures and work. I've got quite a few in there that do that, which is really nice to see other people's ideas and get inspired to have a go. There, smoky eyes. I've got to go in with the dryer again, I'm afraid, sorry. So when we first had our dog, he used to, as a puppy, he was quite naughty, and he used to come down in the middle of the night and steal food. Like, so if there was cakes or anything on the side, he actually ate my son's whole birthday chocolate cake. Terrible, he was so ill. But he did that quite religiously for a while, and we had to religiously for a while, sort of, once we'd got past the telling him off for it, just decide that we couldn't control it. He was still going to do it. So we started hiding everything, putting everything away at night to stop him from doing it, because we didn't want him to get ill, obviously. And it stopped for ages. He's 3 now. And suddenly during this period, it started again. We've noticed, and we've had to put like a lump of wood on top of our bin, because he gets into the bin. He's carefully he's utterly prepared to play the long game. He carefully watches what goes in the bin. He's there like a hawk, like a silent shadow, just watching. And then my son, who's always in latest at night, he hears him the second he shuts his door to signal it's bedtime. The dog charges downstairs and is out in the garden, and burying in the bin, or trying to get this wooden block off, and so forth. And last night we must have left, you know, like the Mr. Kipling apple pies, we left a box of them on the side, woe me, and the whole box is floating down the garden this morning with all the metal foils. He knew as soon as we picked up the metal foil, he rushed to his seat, and just looked so guilty, wouldn't make eye contact with us at all. And what's that? What's that? He's like, no. And then he just throws himself on you in apology. It's quite hilarious. But obviously we're going to have to put things away again. And I don't know what's triggered it, because it's been a very long time without anything. So I've just drawn some very basic kind of planty shaped things. But this is, again, this Stabilo just allows me to just activate water in it, and it gives me like a natural shading already straight away, and I don't really have to do anything clever about it. It looks quite clever. You see that? Look, I'm literally just adding water to it. and I'm not trying to sort of solidly fill it either, just that's just some, don't even know if they have leaves like this kind of plant, but just letting the water and the Stabilo do its thing. It's quite effective, doesn't it? Quite like that. Just get the tips pointed in. Yeah. You can go back into the Stabilo and like pick up the dark ink and then use it for somewhere else as well. Yeah, not bad. So it's just, yeah, I think I am going to try a little bit of blue in there. I'm feeling some blue. So I've got another watercolour set, which is not faces, but the blue is quite inky. Actually, that might look quite nice. Let's have a go. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it kind of looks like old type blue. I think it still has that vintage quality. That's my paintbrush. We're just having a bit of lastminute.com journal work to try and finish some of my books off, because I've only got a couple of pages left in this book and I've set them aside a little bit lately. Thought it was time I got them back out. And I was very preoccupied with web stuff, as I know you know, which is now all sorted. So this is just some watercolour on some, I've got some decoupage music paper. Just into each other a bit, I quite like that look. Oh, thank you. So I have a go. Look, you've seen how kind of easy it was. Fiona, you probably missed the beginning. You obviously did. I've used this. This is a Jane Davenport card that comes with free with one of the stencils that she does. So I've just used, I mean, it doesn't really look like, I just used it as a really rough guideline to quickly sketch her out. As I say, I was on my lastminute.com. So it's not really, it's quite a line drawing, the original anyway, which this obviously is not. But I just used it as a quick reference. I'm quite enjoying this blue. I don't know, I think I kind of want to leave that black and white. And it'd be quite easy to go over the top, I feel. The flipping website, I didn't do it, it's Ryan's. Ryan did it. He's a genius. Does anyone want to borrow a genius? You'd laugh if you knew what it took to activate the genius, because the genius was very uncooperative yesterday. Didn't feel it was his problem at all. So, cajoled and blackmailed with life. He saw it very differently this morning. It's the joys of parenthood. Laugh out loud. Right, I'm just going to dry this off. These are my water-soluble pencils. It's what to do here. I feel like it needs something. I might just do some texture rather than... I feel it needs something. I've got a little bit of this blue. Don't know if it's going to come out. Come on. I'm tempted to keep the blue. Oh, dilemmas. Let's see what this is like up there. This is literally the watercolour, which probably isn't the best to use for stenciling at all, so it might not work. Oh, it's quite nice. Quite like that. I'm obviously trying to get rid of as much excess as possible so it doesn't run everywhere. Yeah, I might do a bit more here. Doesn't matter if it's a bit washy because it kind of goes with the rest. Yeah, that's a bit more washy. I'm just going to blot that out. You can only trial and error on these things. It's a bit too watery, so what I need to do is get a less watery version of that. It's better. Still watery. That's because it was water underneath, but I quite like that, actually. Might leave that. Might dry it quickly before it runs. What I often do on these kind of pictures is, it's another Jane Davenport product, which you have seen me use before. These are just gorgeous, gorgeous crayons that activate with water, and I like to do an outline on my pages. So you can use them like this and smudge them in with your finger, or you can add water to them and you will see. I just think in the book, you don't necessarily need it on a fine art piece of work, but in the journals, they kind of act like a frame. You can obviously you could use ink around the edges and so on, but I like these because that all automatically looks better already, I think. You can add more than one colour in. So I've got a brown as well, so where I might want a bit of brown. I could have a bit of brown as well. So then we can either use our finger, and I actually quite like that for this. This gives a sort of more oil smear effect, but if you add them to water, they sort of turn very inky, and obviously they spread further. So you have to try them on both. There's two sets. They are quite expensive. They're about £25 a set. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 in a set. So there's 24 in all. But I strongly recommend them as just really gorgeous. I've used them in loads of the journal stuff that I've done. I really like that. Right, so what have I got left to do? We're getting there, aren't we? I'm just going to do a little bit of IOD stamping. So I've got a stamp which I'll just stamp up in front of me so it doesn't go on the book. Yeah, JD is definitely to die for. As products I really like. So positioning, just do it right through there. So I've got like 2 more pages to do and then this book's finished. Like that a lot. I've got a dragonfly as well. So I'm using Stays On ink because it doesn't smudge as soon as it's on, it's on. The only problem with it is that once it's on and you can't get it off. So the only option, if you don't like it or it hasn't come out as well as you wanted it to, is to attempt to stamp in exactly the right same place, which is pretty tricky, or gesso over it, cover it up and start again, because it will not wash off. Quite like that, and I think I want a tiny bit of blue in her wings, that will tie in. See, even the water straight on over it, just literally printed 5 seconds ago, that isn't smudging it. You cannot wipe them off, so be warned. Yeah, I like that. Just gonna blot some of it out. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if this plant needs a bit more. Maybe I'll do another one here, just there. So I did it with a stabilo, didn't I? So this is my fine art plant, guys. And if you missed it earlier, I'm going to show you the magic with the stabilo, how this transforms this absolutely kindergarten plant into something that looks quite good. Okay. So just going in with the water, start at the top. Get that. I'm not going to try and fill it in holier than thou everywhere, but I am going to try to emphasize the peaks. Just pushing the paint really by the time it's activated up into the points to emphasize them. That's it. How effective is that? That's kind of tied the 2 pages in, which I like. I do feel like I just want to do a little bit more stabilo. We're nearly there, guys. I didn't have an image in my head. I quite like that when it's not always planned, because a lot of my lives take quite a lot of planning, but this one not so much. I was chaotically pinning down the snowman 4 seconds before I went live. So I'm just, again, just using a bit of the Stabilo just to, I think, just encourage the eye to sort of feel the movement and move around the page so that you're incorporating the whole page. You kind of, in terms of composition, when you start anything like this, you kind of want whoever's going to be looking at it to travel all around the page, and you take them on a journey. So quite often with faces, eyes are the sort of starting point, because we're all drawn to attractive eyes, but it's what your positioning of it and your lines around it that draw people to go round and round in the same circle and take it all in, rather than necessarily taking it all in one hit. Now, my stays on was a slate grey, stone grey, so it's not as dark as it might be. I quite like that, but I'm going to add a little bit of water to it just to get some strength in some places, not all. There we go. There, that works quite well. And I'm not necessarily going to activate all of the Stabilo lines that I've just created. I'll leave some of them where they are. Yeah. Now, I would quite like to put some whites in the eyes, but my my Posca pen has died, guys. I'm using my Posca pen. Must order one. It's definitely what I get through the most. So that'll be the last thing I do. I have got Jane Davenport paint over pen, but it's very wet at the moment, so I just need to dab that. Won't show quite as strongly as a Posca pen, but it's the best I've got at the moment. So I think I'm about there for today. Thank you for joining me on this bit of an impromptu, unplanned live, but it really is quite a lovely thing to be able to look through. Look at all these pages, different styles, different fun bits. I thought if you like this style of journal pages, thoroughly recommend you going over to look at Laurie Marie Jenkins. She's another mixed media artist online, and I certainly snared some of these ideas from her and put them together in different ways. But this one's quite similar to one she's done. I don't think she's got the metal bit around the edge, but anyway, have a look at her. I like the holes. She gave me the idea of holes and windows. And there's our rainbow heart, and she used eggshells as well, actually, in something different. So yeah, here's my Punch and Judy show. There's lots of fun things. My love Valentine cards. So it's really quite a pleasure looking through and just sort of seeing different moods and different influences on different days. So have a go. Look up Jane Davenport if you fancy. Look up some of her products. The best products, in my humble view, are definitely these crayons. I've used them loads, but she does a lot of stencils as well, and she's done some really good books. So yeah, I definitely recommend her. And I shall be on again this time next week on Thursday at 1 o'clock, hopefully with something a little bit more planned. But I'm hoping to actually just finish off this book, and then we are done. Then I can sort of go on to finishing off my last book, my other book as well. So I'll have 2 completed books. I'll be back to starting again. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and see you again soon.